Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome back. I'm Holly Golightly, and hi, how are you? Today's video is going to be all about the Sephora Favorites Clean Fragrance Sampler. So these are all fragrances that fall under Sephora's Clean at Sephora banner, and they've given you a sample set to try. If you are interested in finding out about the fragrances, keep watching, and if you are interested in finding out about the changes to the Sephora Favorites Perfume Sampler program, I've got that info for you too. Honestly, you know it. So, I apologize if you feel like I'm rushing through this, or if you notice this video is a little bit more concise than my videos usually are, filled with rambling. It's because I've already filmed it once, and I accidentally deleted all the footage, and I was super lucky that I hadn't gotten rid of any of the packaging or any of the materials yet. Otherwise, I just would have been SOL, so yikes. So, first of all, let's talk about the set. The Clean at Sephora set is very similar to all of Sephora's perfume sample sets to date. You get 6 perfume vial samples in this box. Let me hold it up so you can see. You try all of them, you choose your own, and then you redeem the included redemption certificate for a full bottle of your selected fragrance at no additional cost. The scents included in this particular box are by Rosie Jane. The fragrance is Leila. Clean Reserve fragrance Radiant Nectar. Ellis Brooklyn fragrance Salt. Maison Louis Marie fragrance number 4 Bois de Balincourt. Skylar fragrance Salt Air. And the 7 Virtues fragrance Vanilla Woods. This fragrance sample set retailed for $68 US, and as you can see, it has a $105 value. The $105 value of this set is the cost of the most expensive fragrance you can redeem for, which is the Ellis Brooklyn Salt fragrance. So that makes it a little bit more clear where the value is coming from in the set. The fragrance, the Clean Fragrance Sampler looks like this. The box is actually a compostable, biodegradable box that you can plant. You will plant the box, water it, and then something will grow. I'm not sure if you see all these little black spots, but there's literal seeds embedded into this. I don't have anywhere to plant mine. I'm not sure what is going to grow, but I would be curious to know if anyone gets this and they do try growing it, what happens. So then you'll open up this box. Looks like this. Like I said, all of the materials are biodegradable, recyclable. And then it's fairly straightforward on the inside. There's a card that looks like the usual card. It has information about the program and then the fragrance information on the back. And then it has the samples, which didn't look quite like this when I got it, but I rearranged them. And then the redemption scent certificate. So before we get into each of the fragrances, let's talk a little bit about the redemption process and the changes Sephora has made to these fragrance favorite sets. The largest and most noticeable, most beneficial change has been made is that these fragrance vouchers are now able to be redeemed on Sephora.com. That is something that probably came about because of the world events, the current events, the fact that people weren't able to get into stores and they were getting these sample sets but not able to go to stores because they were physically closed and redeem for their products. So I think this is great. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that process at the end of the video. But the other thing that has changed is that the scent certificates are now much more defined in what exactly can be redeemed. It was always redeeming for one of the fragrances in the box, but in the past, stores had a little bit of leeway where if they didn't carry a certain product or if it was no longer available in store, they could substitute for you perhaps something outside of the scent certificate items. I don't know that that happened very often, but it had happened for me in the past, and I've heard online from other people that some other people had experienced that. However, the new redemption policies make it very clear that if you do not have the product in stock at your Sephora store that you want to redeem for, you must choose from one that is available in the store that's on the scent certificate, or go online to order. If you don't redeem your certificate in a reasonable amount of time and the product that you want is no longer stocked by Sephora, they no longer guarantee that you can redeem for something else. You'll still have to choose from the actual scents listed on the scent certificate. So although that is something that is nice to have defined, nice to know, it really isn't going to affect many people. It's mostly just a policy definition instead of change to any existing redemption requirements. As per usual, the fragrance certificate cannot be redeemed in Sephora inside JCPenney's. It cannot be redeemed at the new Sephora inside Kohl's. It cannot be redeemed in Sephora Canada or Sephora France. Only Sephora freestanding US stores or Sephora.com. So, we'll talk more about redemption when we get to that point, but let's talk about the fragrances. These are all fragrances that have Sephora's Clean at Sephora seal. The Clean at Sephora designation, it indicates products that are working to be sustainable and specifically are excluding ingredients that Sephora has deemed harmful either to humans or to the environment. So all of the fragrances that are under the Clean at Sephora banner are made without things like phthalates, parabens, UV inhibitors that Sephora has deemed unhealthy or unsustainable to humans or the environment. These are all pretty new brands to Sephora's rotation because Sephora has only implemented this Clean at Sephora initiative within like the past 5 years. But none of them are like brand new, and none of them are like ones that most people will have never heard of. If you shop at Sephora regularly, especially for fragrance, you'll probably have at least tried these brands, and you may have already tried some of these fragrances. I personally own one already from this list and had already tried 3 of the others. So yeah. So let's just go ahead and get started, and I'll go through all of the fragrances, tell you my thoughts about not only the scent, but also about their clean initiative, and then my last one I will tell you which one I redeemed for. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar. This is a fresh fragrance, and it is a eau de parfum. The redemption size is 3.4 fluid ounces or 100 ml. That is the largest of all of the redemption bottles. The rest are all 50 ml or 1.7 fluid ounces. And it's a fresh citrus and fruits fragrance. It's described as sparkling pear nectar capturing you instantly. Meanwhile, sustainable ambrette seeds create a natural musk that lingers on the skin, met by the intoxicating warm orris butter, white cedarwood, and liquid musk for an addictive dynamic. So the Sephora Clean, so the Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar is actually a really pretty fragrance. I really like this, but I own it already, so I definitely like it. I have this in a travel size. I actually redeemed that one from a Clean travel size set that I purchased in the past. It's really beautiful. This one is not a new fragrance. It's been released for about 2 years now. And I think a lot of people have tried it because there was a lot of buzz around it when it was first released. The scent itself is just really warm, bright. It's not too fruity or fresh. It's definitely like a sexy, sweet scent. The biggest caveat I have with the Clean Reserve fragrances is they don't last very long. They just don't stay on the skin all that well. And because they are designed to be layered, it's not really that surprising. Fragrances that are designed to be layered with other fragrances in their own line have a tendency to fade faster on their own. The Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar fragrance is designed to be paired with Solar Bloom or the Skin Reserve Blend version. I did not choose this one, of course, because I already have a travel size of it, but it is a nice fragrance. It is a good size, 3.4 fluid ounces, and it is a good redemption value at $98 US. The least expensive redemption value, or the lowest bang for your buck, the one that actually falls under the total price of the box, is from by Rosie Jane, and it is the scent Leila. So by Rosie Jane Leila is a eau de parfum, redeems for 1.7 fluid ounce bottle, and the scent type is a fruity floral. Says, feels like your favorite jeans and white tee, sexy and everyday. Leila is the first fragrance to be created in the By Rosie Jane collection. It's named after Rosie Jane's daughter, Leila, and the quote is, I created this fragrance when I was a makeup artist and wanted easy to wear, soft but signature scent from Rosie Jane Johnson. She really did succeed with this. This is a nice fragrance. Despite the fact that it's fairly inexpensive accordingly with the rest of them, the fragrance itself is one of my favorites. It's got a freshness, but it's not like a clean laundry freshness or a really white musk freshness. It's got a bit of juiciness with pear. It has jasmine, and then it has a fresh cut grass note. So this scent with those three things, pear, jasmine, and fresh cut grass, is meant to feel like your favorite jeans and white tee, fresh, flirty, and everyday. I really like this fragrance. It's a comparatively inexpensive fragrance, so it is one that I would consider purchasing on my own, but I'm not going to redeem for it. One thing I do want to mention, though, is the By Rosie Jane fragrance website was the only website of all of the brands to actively list which ingredients they used that were natural ingredients and which ingredients they used that were synthetic ingredients. There were no percentages talked about, like 90% is natural, 10% is synthetic, or anything like that, but it did have a full list of the ingredients, the note ingredients, and whether or not they were using a natural note or a synthetic chemical aroma compound. None of the other brands' websites did that. However, in doing that, with the By Rosie Jane website, they actually listed that they included a couple of UV inhibitor that is on Sephora's that's on Sephora's Clean at Sephora no list. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. It may be that the fragrances themselves that are sold at Sephora don't have that. I don't know, but that was the only thing that was I'm not sure about that. The Clean Reserve brand, unfortunately, really didn't talk much at all about their clean initiatives on their website. They're literally called Clean Reserve, and they call themselves eco-conscious and sustainable, but they don't get too much into why they are those things. They just say they're mindful of the impact on the environment as well as their impact on sustainability and the environment, but nothing really else is given. So for that reason, I really didn't rate them too highly in regards to their clean status, because a lot of it is, it is just greenwashing at the end of the day. The next fragrance, the one that as much as I wanted to like this fragrance because it is the best redemption price value, I really don't like it. It's Salt from Ellis Brooklyn. So Ellis Brooklyn Salt is an eau de parfum. It redeems for 50 ml or 1.7 fluid ounces. And the scent type is warm floral, which it's warm, but I don't think it's very floral. I don't know. It's just my nose. They say salty skin, the creamy heat of the sun, and a whiff of tropical florals. Salt is sensual, complex, and soul healing. Salt, keywords like that are just, that's all they are, is they're just to trigger something. Salt features the heady, salty notes of vegan ambergris with the tropical floral notes of Tahitian tiare and the warmth of sandalwood and musk. This redeems for $105, and the Ellis Brooklyn site is okay about disclosing some of their sustainable practices, but again, it's really not that impressive, especially when you promote yourself so heavily at being a clean brand and then don't have really any links or information about your product available to consumers to back up those claims. It does kind of give me a pause. I don't know that I would write off Ellis Brooklyn entirely, but it does make me think more about whether or not they're practicing the most that they could be doing, you know. So the scent itself says Yang Yang, Tahitian Tari, Ambergris, and Sandalwood. I've smelled all these 100 times by now. This is not really anything that special to me. I don't think it's all that unique. It's not bad. It's not a fragrance that smells bad. None of the scents in this box smell bad. They're all really nice fragrances. But unless you're just going off of getting the most bang for the buck, I don't see a reason to purchase this, to be honest. It's not better than several of these other fragrances. And I personally have learned that if I am buying these scents or if I'm redeeming these scents, these products, I can't just redeem for the most expensive one because I don't always like them. And then they end up getting decluttered. And it's a waste of time and a waste of money in the end, even if I sell them for, fairly decent. So instead I have to really go for the ones that I'm liking. And Salt, that's not it. It's not it. The next one, very similar to Salt, and one that I've talked about before on the channel here, was Skylar Salt Air. Now, the Skylar Salt Air is an eau de toilette, redemption size 1.7 fluid ounces. The scent type is fresh aquatic. It is a perfume inspired by palm trees, ocean breeze, and sun-kissed hair. This scent embodies the ease of summer with seascape elements like salt and sandalwood. Salt Air will send you to your favorite ocean escape. Dive into the thrill of the personal discovery with this bare and breezy Skylar favorite. I really like the scent of this. If you were looking for a salty fragrance, I definitely would recommend Salt Air over Ellis Brooklyn Salt. There is going to be a difference in longevity. The Salt Air being an eau de toilette, it really doesn't last very long, although it has fairly good lifespan, especially when put on with a sprayer versus the roller ball, which was the other redemption I was thinking about. I really like the saltiness of this because it is quite unique. It's uniquely ocean-sidey, and it has a sort of metallic-y tang, like you really are smelling the ocean. But the fragrance itself is a little bit overpriced. I would say it redeems for the price of $78. And that's a lot. That is a lot for a 50 ml eau de toilette. The by Rosie Jane is an eau de parfum. It's less than, it's almost $12, $13 less, and is better quality wise, longevity wise, even if you're not getting as much bang for your buck. I really like Salt Air, and again, if it came to a point where there was an opportunity for me to own this fragrance, like a partial bottle or a decant, I would probably do that. But as for picking it up in a full bottle, I am going to pass because I just don't see myself reaching for it as often. The other thing to consider is the clean status of the Skylar fragrances. I found on their website to really be no information whatsoever to support their claims of being ethically, sustainably made, clean, etc. If that matters to you, you know, take their claims with a grain of salt. If it doesn't matter to you, then you don't have to worry about it. But I probably wouldn't purchase a full size of Skylar anything, just based off of the fact that I do think they might be greenwashing a bit. The next one, and this one I did really like. I really liked the brand. I really liked the information about the brand that I found, and I really liked the fragrance, was the Seven Virtues Vanilla Woods. This fragrance was just sweet, comforting, beautiful. It basically is everything it claimed to be, and the brand is as well. So it says about the Seven Virtues Vanilla Woods, it's an eau de parfum, redemption size 1.7 fluid ounce, scent type warm and sweet gourmand. The Seven Virtues sources fair trade organic essential oils from nations rebuilding after war or strife, and infuses them with organic sugarcane alcohol to create beautiful, vegan, cruelty-free perfumes without parabens, phthalates, or UV inhibitors. This precious vanilla is the perfect balance of sweet and warm, caramel and amber, and will alleviate stress in one spritz. This is a really beautiful scent. This is absolutely a scent I could see myself buying a full bottle of outside of this box, or, you know, buying another box to get a full bottle of it. I really liked it. It was very comforting. I had put it on one evening when I had a bit of a headache, and I fell asleep with my hand next to my face like this, and I was breathing it in, and I fell asleep so deep and soundly. It was like having a warm weighted blanket put on me. It was really nice. Again, the claims that they make about their work and where they source their materials, all of that information was sourced at their website, so it did provide links to information about refugees, places where they're trying to rebuild after war, and how the owner and perfumer of the Seven Virtues was inspired by these places and these women, and how they caused her to act on creating this perfume line. So there is a link, or not a link, there is a movie that she created or was involved in the creation, and it is called Perfume War. So I highly recommend that you go check that out. Last I saw, you could find it on Vimeo to watch, but it does have a fee, so I think it's worth it. It's definitely interesting, and I really appreciate the information that I learned about the brand from them. At the end of the day, though, this was not the fragrance that I thought that I would get the most wear out of, that I thought I would get the most use out of. And so that's why I chose to go with this next fragrance over the Seven Virtues scent. And the one that I did redeem for is the Maison Louis Marie No. 4 Bois de Balincourt. This fragrance is called, let's see, it's an eau de parfum, redemption size 1.7 fluid ounces. The scent type is warm woods. It says, surrounded by an ancient mysterious forest, Balincourt is the name of our family home where we took long walks on a magical trail called Lover's Lane. This romantic scent is a sandalwood fragrance with a dominant cedarwood and sandalwood accord that's supplemented by spicy cinnamon nutmeg complex with earthy vetiver note. So, Bois de Balincourt, I know it's a French name, but I can't even begin to pronounce that correctly, so I won't try. It's just sexy sandalwood, musky wood with that vetiver, cedar, and there is something like kind of green, floral almost. I'm not sure, does it say here? No, it just says that there's vetiver, nutmeg, and cinnamon with the sandalwood, cedarwood, and amberwood, but I definitely feel like there is probably some sort of floral note in here as well. Yeah, so I did redeem for this fragrance in the full size. The other thing that impressed me was the information that Maison Louis Marie provided about their brand, but they are actively involved in science in the creation of these products. They're using natural as well as synthetic, but they're understanding how to put them together. So her great-great-grandfather was like a biologist, and so yeah, there's a lot of history and understanding about the nature of plants and the nature of scent involved in the house's history. So redeemed for the full size, and I did do the online redemption process, which I'm now going to explain to you. The other thing that I didn't know until after I had redeemed for this is that this Bois de Balincourt is supposed to be a pretty good dupe for Le Labo's Santal 33, and a lot of people say there's even better lasting power than with Santal 33. I haven't tried any Le Labo fragrances, so that I cannot speak to, but it is something to note. So I did do the online redemption process, and so let me tell you what they have written specifically about how to redeem. It says, you may redeem your scent certificate at any US Sephora store or on Sephora.com to receive one of the eligible products listed above, and it is the 6 scents that we just talked about. Unfortunately, we are unable to accept redemptions at Sephora Inside JCPenney stores, Kohl's stores, or Sephora in Canada stores. The Sephora Favorites kit, the scent certificate, and any product received with the scent certificate are final sale and may not be returned or exchanged for cash, credit, or otherwise. So, in the past, if you purchased a scent fragrance sampler and it was unopened, you could still return it. Now, there is no refunds, no returns, no exchanges, opened or unopened. These are final sale items. That is important to consider if you're thinking about getting them as a gift, because someone will want to have to like at least one of the fragrances in the box because they can't return it. They also say to redeem at Sephora stores, you must present your original scent certificate. Copies are not accepted, and an eligible product at the register. To redeem at Sephora.com, add an eligible product. So I added this to your cart and enter the one-time use promotional code that is included in your scent certificate in the promo or reward code box. The scent certificate is one-time use and cannot be redeemed for cash. See reverse for additional details. So down here, so here's the little holograph that shows you that it's legit. Down here, there's 2 barcodes. This is the one you are looking for, the certificate promo barcode. This number down here, don't worry, I've already redeemed. You cannot use it, so it's fine to look. This number with this starting U dash all of these is going to be entered into the Sephora checkout screen where you would normally put your promotional coupon code, whether it's like VIB sale or 20% off or free ship. You'll put this there, which means that you cannot get any additional coupons or bonus gifts with your redemption of the Sephora Favorites scent. I did notice though that this got free shipping. It was over the $50 shipping threshold, and it retained its free shipping status even after I applied the coupon code, the barcode, to discount it to $0. I was able to use VIB points, Beauty Insider points, on my purchase, and I was able to get the free samples as well. So yeah, my recommendation would be, if you're redeeming for a fragrance online, do this in a separate order from any other purchase that you intend to make. It ships ground, but I still got mine in like 3 days, so it was very quick, very easy. The last thing to consider is the information I mentioned before about redemption and what you can redeem for. They do write on the back that if the product you choose is not available at the time of redemption, you can wait to redeem the scent certificate later or select a different product from the list on the inside of this card. To ensure that we have the fragrance of your choice, we recommend redeeming within 12 months. Now, the 12-month timeline is not an expiration date. There is still no printed expiration date on this product. It doesn't expire. What it is it's giving Sephora the ability to say, no, we can't let you do that because you didn't redeem within 12 months. You have to choose something else. So let's say that you wanted this Bois de Balincourt, but you waited too long and Sephora stopped carrying them. You couldn't go in and say, well, I wanted this, can I just choose something else that's the same price or the same house or whatever? They'd say, no, you can only choose from what's available on this list. It's just giving them the legal ability to decline your request. With that being said, if you're holding out on these scent certificates for longer than 12 months, hoping to get something other than what you've paid for here in this box, maybe you should have just bought what you wanted instead of bought the box to begin with. Just an idea, just a thought. It's just a thought. Anyways, you guys, I hope that this was helpful and answered all the questions that you maybe have about the Sephora favorites and how the new Sephora favorites perfume samplers, fragrance samplers are going to be working going forward, and also answered some of the questions maybe you had about some of these clean at Sephora brands and what to take into consideration when you are buying a clean at Sephora fragrance. Not all clean fragrances are made equally, so if you're unsure of whether or not the claims that they're making are being backed up by their evidence, always go to the brands, look, do research, find out, because a lot of these brands had some claims that when I went to their websites actually didn't really back them up at all. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed. I apologize if any of this got a little bit lost in translation. I can't really remember the points I had made in the first video, so I hope I got them all this time around. But feel free to leave any questions or comments you have down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. So until I see you guys in the next video, I wish you adieu and have a wonderful day. Bye!